Oh,
welcome everyone to our weekly Facebook Live show, Life Buildup, where we discuss your success, fulfillment, and balance. I'm your host Jawad, here with Hassan again.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, bro?
It's going good.
Are you stressed out?
Not today.
All right, that's good to hear. This week, guys, we're talking about stress. Stress might actually be good for you, even though all of us are very stressed out all the time and we think of it as a very negative thing.
Right.
It might actually be good for you, but there are instances when it's bad for you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me just share the show a little bit.
Sure. What's up, guys? Really glad that you can join us. Those of you who are just rolling in, just listening in. If you're listening to us, afterwards, make sure you find a nice spot as you're driving or you're commuting to work. So we are talking about today stress, right? This is one of these like buzzwords that you hear everywhere, right? I mean, people say, I'm so stressed, I'm stressed out, or stress, and there's like thousands of articles online about stress. I mean, you could Google stress and you'll find hundreds of videos. So what in the world is stress? And our title today is a little bit provocative, where we're saying why stress might be good for you.
Mm-hmm. What was going through your head when you came up with the title, bro?
So I think the number one reason why stress is such a negative, evil thing is because I think we have defined stress in that way.
Right.
Because we made stress to be such a negative, such a something that you want to just avoid at all costs in any way possible. That itself, as we're going to talk about, is what causes you stress. Because
I'm going to interrupt you real quick, bro. Guys, if you're joining us, you could do me a quick favor and just share the show on your phone, or if you're watching it on your laptop or computer, please share the show so more people can join it. I really appreciate it. And also, thank you for the likes. Please drop a like on the video as well. I appreciate that. All right, continue.
All right, so and that's why the title says why stress might be good for you. Because I think when you look at stress in a way of it's I gotta just get rid of stress and I can't have stress in my life, that itself causes stress. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. So enough with the.
That's true. Yeah. It's like if you're trying to get rid of, which is something you cannot never get rid of. Right.
So somebody says, Jawad, I don't want you to think about the black chair.
Right, and you're gonna think of the black chair.
So don't think about it, okay? Don't think about the black chair.
All right, I'm thinking about the black chair.
Exactly. So it's a little silly example, but that's exactly what happens, right? So somebody asks, do you get fat while you're on stress? So do you gain weight if you're stressed? It depends. You can gain weight. You can gain weight.
As you can
tell.
I
say weight again. Yeah, I keep saying weight. Weight. You can gain weight on stress. Yeah, some people they deal with the stress by eating.
Okay.
They're constantly munching on things. You can get
stress eating.
Yeah, stress eating. Or it depends. Sometimes your stress might be with your weight. So there are, you have to go see your doctor. There are certain conditions. For example, if you have some kind of thyroid issue, in that case. So I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to make comments on those. But there are those factors as well. Okay. But as we're talking about more from a psychological perspective, more from a personal development perspective, in that stress eating is what gets people to gain weight.
Yeah. Asif asked, like, you get wet too. That was weight, okay? So he's saying
actually, you can. I mean, stress might make you sweat.
Okay, if you look at him that way.
Yeah. Sure. So that's that. Okay. So what exactly is stress?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the first thing we need to talk about. What exactly is stress? What does that even mean?
All right, lay it on me, bro. What is it?
So stress is your body's reaction to a threat or a challenge. Right, so your body sees a threat or a challenge or something that needs to gear up for, and so gears up for it. Right. There are chemicals that gets released in your body. I'm gonna keep it as as basic as possible. Different chemicals gets released in your body, including norepinephrine, cortisol, different chemicals that get released in your body. And all you have to know is that these chemicals gears your body up for a fight or flight. Right. So,
this is almost similar to like in our anger episode.
Sure. It's a little different. So yes, anger also in a way it gears up body for a threat in some way, But stress is there are nuances in between.
Okay, so you know, you see the challenge in front of you.
Yeah.
Your body's releasing chemicals.
Right.
And then what happens?
So for example, you are driving. All of a sudden, some car just comes right in front of you, and you heartbreak. Right.
Right.
Why are you heartbreaking? How does that heartbreaking works? So
that's your body reacting to it.
Exactly. So your body sees a threat, and the body automatically kicks in the chemicals in.
So you're saying that's stress when you're
yeah,
able to brake your car and
exactly.
not crash into the other
That's
car?
you reacting to stress.
Okay.
Stress is something that, for biology people, it messes up your homeostasis in your body. So your body has a balance, right? Everything is balanced in your body chemically, and so something from outside externally does something, or it could be internal. We'll talk about that. That messes up the balance, and so body has to react to that challenge.
And why does it feel bad? Like, you know, it's a negative feeling, right?
Right. Well, it can be a negative feeling, yeah. So when for example,
I mean, when people think of stress, like, you know, they're thinking of stress like, you know, when they have, like, let's say they're overwhelmed in their work, or like, you know, something is going on with their family, something's happening with the relationship. That's when they get stressed out.
Sure.
So are you saying that, like, the work, family, relationship, that's like a challenge? Like, the body looks at it as a challenge?
Yeah, exactly. So you know, when these chemicals are released in the body, right? So these chemicals, norepinephrine, cortisol, what they do is they make sure that more energy is being used in your body. They make sure that, you know, blood is going into your extremities. They make sure that, you know, your body blood pressure is pumped so that, you know, you could get more oxygenated. You know, it opens up the bronchioles in your chest so that in your lungs, so that, you know, more oxygen is coming. So it's basically gearing up to do stuff. You understand? It's like being in a war zone, right? You're constantly like alert, right? So your body gets super focused, right? Because it needs to solve something, it needs to do something. So imagine, like, you know, you're getting up doing a presentation, right? All of a sudden, even if you're tired, you get up in front of an audience, and I know this as a public speaker, you know, get up in front of an audience, even if you're tired, automatically you have some kind of energy.
Okay.
Because your body is saying, okay, there are people in front, you're gearing up to present, whatever. Or, you know, you're sleeping and dozing off, and car comes in front of you, what happened? You just wake up, right?
Right.
So my point is, what happens to us when we talk about, I'm stressed out at work, I'm stressed out with this, what's happening is that you're in that constant alert mode every day, 24/7. Or you're in that alert mode for too long in a day.
Right.
So, and you're not supposed to be like that.
Okay, I see. So it's like almost like the feeling that you get when you're like about to crash into the car,
right?
And you're like get alert. You being in that state for too long.
Too long, exactly.
Okay.
So in biochemistry wise, that's what stress is.
Right.
So your body was not supposed to.
So that means you need a break.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. The whole point is stress is not a bad thing. You need stress if you're gonna go up and present.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if we had no stress, you would not get things done in life. And if you had no stress, you would not. You know,
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That you wouldn't get anything done in life?
Imagine you're a vegetable. You have no alert system.
So are you saying that, like, let's say stress almost helps you get up at work in the morning and
yes.
get to work?
Yes, meet deadlines. It helps you prepare for a, you know, some kind of challenge. It helps you, you know, do a presentation.
Dumb it down for me even further. Okay. How is the relationship in there when you're saying that, like, a stress helps you, you know, get up from bed, it could go to work and so forth, and challenges. How does that work exactly? What's the relationship?
So the relationship is that you have to have an alert system in your body. So having the norepinephrine, cortisol coming to your body at some times is good.
Okay.
It's good that because it's getting you zero.
So if you did not have that
stress,
if you did not have that any stress, basically you'd be mellowed out.
Yeah.
Like, all the time, not caring about anything.
Imagine you're just you know, in a beach and just you can't do that for too long.
Yeah.
And just not care about anything. You need that excitement. You need some of that pump in your life sometimes.
Right. You need some of that stress.
Yeah. So you need stress.
Okay.
But within moderation.
Okay.
And that's the point.
So I think you know you did a excellent job explaining what stress is.
Right.
Okay. Well, what's next? Okay. What is it? What else do we need to understand about stress, and, like, you know, why it might be good for us?
Sure. I mean, so I think the next thing we think about is you know, what are some signs and symptoms that you are stressed? Your stress is too much. So you're not at the healthy level. You're beyond the healthy level. Okay. So there are some signs and symptoms, and this is something that's very important to recognize, of you being overly stressed.
Okay.
So when I had talked about getting rid of your stress, we had talked about getting rid of your excess stress.
Okay. Yeah. So some stress is good for you.
Yeah, some stress is good for you. Yeah.
As the title states.
And I think some folks need some stress.
Yeah.
Because
they're too chilled out.
You're way too chilled out, making not as much progress in life.
Yeah.
Right. But most people we live in a world that's constantly bombarding with information, right? Yeah. From our phones to you're on your phones 24/7. Mm-hmm. You're getting inputs. You're getting news, emergency alerts on a constant basis, right? Mm-hmm. So we're too wired.
Right.
Constantly, we're just pacing ourselves like this, and that's where the unhealthy stress is, okay. Right? So how do you know you're having excess amount of stress? Here's some signs and symptoms that you want to sort of look for. So there are actually many signs and symptoms. So from a physical perspective, you find that you're having a hard time relaxing. You can't fall asleep. You always feel fatigued and tired. You always feel sometimes down. You always feel this tension in your muscle, right? Physically, you always find that you're having cold and flu all the time.
I mean, those are some very vague signs, though, right?
No, but
I mean, in the sense that everybody feels like that sometimes. Everybody feels tired.
The whole point is to look at it all together, right? Okay. So you're having too much cold and flu. You're having stomach problems. These are certain signs that you have way too much stress in your life. The studies show that if you are,
I'm just thinking that people might interpret it as wrong. In the sense that it could be just normal things that are going on in their lives,
right.
And then they interpret that as stress. So how do you know, to say that, okay, this is actually happening because
that's true.
I'm stressed out.
So what you want to do is you want to look at it all together. So I'm giving you all the signs and symptoms, a whole bunch of lists, right? You will find this, right? So any medication, right? At the bottom, you will say, if you're getting fever, this and that, and you're like, man, every single medication has the same side effect, like whole list of 10 things, right? If you get fever, this and that. But there's a point to that. The point is that you want to be aware of it and look at it and then go, okay, is this due to this or do I have something else going on?
Okay.
But you do want to be, you see constantly having stomach problem, constantly you're getting sick, constantly you can't fall asleep at night, constantly. Now you start to think, okay, all right, there's now one thing, not two things, there are like few things not happening.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I got the physical signs. What are some emotional signs of it?
Sure. So emotional signs, you can't concentrate. You're constantly, getting agitated. You're flipping people off for no reason. All of a sudden, basically your tolerance for stuff is just going out the drain. You just can't tolerate things. Mm-hmm. Every little thing bothers you, right? That's because you're overly stressed.
I mean, I think that's part of the reason. Maybe when people come after a long day at work,
right.
They just kind of flip out on everybody in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're stressed out.
Yeah. And we talked about this in the anger episode. I think when you flip out like that, it actually feels better.
Right.
Unfortunately, it actually feels better because you're raising that level in your body. Anger now is another chemical reaction, and it actually has this anesthetic feeling where you're feeling like a painkiller almost. We talked about that in the anger episode.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So it's almost a painkiller. So anyway,
it soothes your body almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying stress, when you react to stress and you try to flip out and things like that, that also creates a similar effect where your body actually feels good.
So and then you get
that's a bad way of dealing with it.
Yeah, of course. And so you have to be aware of it. You have to say, you know what? Okay, am I coming and flipping people off? Do I have zero tolerance for anything? I can't take anything. Emotionally, everything feels so cluttered. I feel overwhelmed. Everything just feels. I can't even concentrate on small stuff. And then you start to think, okay, I'm having excessive stress.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to look at those those signs and symptoms.
Okay, let's say the person recognizes it now. Okay, what's next?
So I think that
and what does that help with? So that basically helps with them actually the self-awareness is important.
Right? Yeah.
Self-awareness that I am stressed out right now.
Right. And because if
just something that came to my head. What if somebody thinks that I'm able to power through it?
Right.
In the sense some level of stress is important for success.
Right. True.
Right? Like for example, a college student taking let's say 21 credits or working on the side and so forth, he's going to be stressed out.
Right.
But going through that stress, is good for him.
Right.
Because good for him in the sense that if he's able to pass all of his classes,
Right.
stay consistent at work, okay, he's getting reward for it. Or for a business person, entrepreneur, like, if he's, staying up, or, he's working long hours in order to make his business work, at
Right.
the end of it, like, it pays off, they might be good for him.
True. So the question is, that's why I said some stress is good. That's the whole show began with, that why stress is good for you and when it's not.
Right.
So
because you need that level of stress in order to succeed in your
yes.
life.
The question is, the simple barometer is, when you find that your stress is affecting your relationship,
Yeah.
it's affecting your own personal health,
Yeah.
it's affecting your own, your attitude at work, at home, with people that are close to you, then you need to start to ask yourself, okay, now it's not helping anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a lot going on, you could hold off eating. Maybe you one day you don't eat lunch. Sometimes it happens to me at work, and I know people who work in sometimes very fast-paced settings. Sometimes you skip out on lunch, for example. That might be okay once a week, but you find yourself skipping lunch every day.
Right.
Now you're hurting your body.
Yeah.
Right? Then it's excessive stress.
Yeah.
Meaning, so having little stress is okay, but you're doing that 5 days a week. You're only getting 2-3 hours sleep 5 days a week, or you're overwhelmed, you're overworking 5 days a week. Then we start to have a problem.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I said excessive stress. There's little stress is no good. Certain level of stress is very good. Too much of it, no good.
Right.
So it's optimal level. We call it optimal stress. Right?
So you gotta have a balance.
Yeah, you have to have optimal amount of stress. Right? And so how do you know that? When you see that your stress is causing problem in your relationships, your stress is causing problem with your own health, your stress is causing problem at work, right? Now you're not being productive, but now you're being counterproductive.
Yeah.
Right? When you find that that's happening, and you yourself recognize, what, man, it's not just going well. I'm not enjoying. Right? I'm constantly in a war zone.
Right.
Like you can only be in a war zone for a certain amount of time. That shouldn't be the case every day, all the time.
Right.
And that's the
exactly
point.
Yeah. You have to have a balance for it.
Right.
But yeah, I think like you make an excellent point when you say that certain level of stress is necessary, and stress is good for you, because without stress you won't be able to get up from bed and go to work, because you don't have any stress in your life. You just mellow it out all the time.
Right.
So guys, real quick, if you're watching with us, if you could please do me a favor and share the show so that more people can join in and join the conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. What else you got for me?
So now they talked about what exactly is stress and how you know when you're stressed. And now let's get to the main thing here, which is what do you do about it?
Yeah.
Right? So number one thing about it is what I say, mindset and personality. Okay? And this is key. This is something I want you to really pay attention to. This is so important. Your personality or mindset plays a huge impact on you being able to have a balanced stress in your life. Okay? So personality is so important. So this is something to recognize. We're not going to talk about how to go about changing that or fixing that, but something for you to recognize, something very interesting. There was a study done where they looked at folks who work in hotels, for example, right? They work in the front desk. They say, "Hey, good morning, hi, welcome to Hilton Hotel," or whatever, right? And they found out that these people who work in customer service, or they have to be like extra nice and all that, courtesy and all that.
A receptionist.
Yeah, people who already have a people-friendly personality, they tend to be less drained at the end of the day. So if you're someone that don't like people to begin with, you're like by yourself type, and you're not that. But end of the day, working in one day in the hotel, you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be emotionally drained. But someone who likes people, right? And in a similar, so it's not so that job wasn't draining.
Yeah.
Your personality wasn't a good match for it. Right? So that's very important. Some people like the grinding and finding out things as they're programming, coding something on the computer. But you got into IT field because for the heck of it, because it was an easier way out, then you're gonna feel more stressed. Right? I know. I work with people. Right? I'm a therapist, and I work with folks with addictions and depression and so forth. And some people will find that draining.
Right.
Now it takes a toll on me too, but because I enjoy it, because it fits my personality, it's actually a lot more enjoyable. So personality has a huge impact.
So whatever's going on in your life, okay, it has to fit with your personality.
Yeah.
And that makes things a lot more easy.
Yes.
And if it's contradicting, that's when the stress happens.
Right. So that's why before I talked about do exercise, eat well. We'll get to that in a second. Those classical advices for stress. I'll get to that. But I want to really focus on something that you might not find in most Google articles, and which is that you have to realize that if you don't have a good personality fit in your workplace, in the relationship that you're in things you're involved with, right? How you're running your life day to day.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do so well.
Yeah.
And no one can do anything about that. You have to make those changes, right? And then also mindset. I think mindset is such a key, right? So
I mean, so just going back on the point though, like, I mean, this could mean that, like, for people switching their entire career, like, if they're working at some place where the money's good,
right,
but it just does not fit with who they are, and they hate their job, right? What would they do in this situation?
Well, I think it's a case by case basis. And I think there are ways to make your job more, there are ways to make your job more enjoyable for you. For example, so you might not be as big fan of working in this industry, for example, but you love your colleagues. You have good time with your colleagues. The manager is good. The work office is good, right? Or you like one aspect of it, so you sort of try to focus in on that area of it. Right? So you're not big. You study IT, but you're not a big fan of it. But when you got into IT, you like the project management side of it. So you try to move up as much as you can. So you move away from the hard coding and you get into that more. And that happens naturally, anyways.
Right.
So that's an example, right? You study medicine, but you're not really a big fan of this interacting with patient business, right? So you slowly move into maybe perhaps research, or you move into more,
so making small shifts in your career,
yes, even a small shift within careers, you can make small shifts that will be more fit of a person. So you don't have to make a drastic change.
Yeah.
You were engineer, all of a sudden, boom, you're gonna become an accountant. I'm not asking you to do that, But what I'm saying is that you could make those tweaks in your industry. Make little moves, maneuver that more fits, and people do that naturally anyways. As they get older, they're like, they understand themselves a little more. But I'm telling you,
and guys, if you guys can relate to this, please put in the comments. Love to hear, if this relates to you guys,
right.
and especially definitely if you benefit, please share it in the comments.
Yeah, if you're watching these videos, give us a thumbs up and do share as we're continuing. Yeah. So that's very important, right? Yeah. Also, mindset. I think mindset is number one reason I think most of us, in this day and age, we suffer from excessive stress. Mindset is key. If you have this mindset of I'm going to, I'm going to get to a point in my life, I call that need more mindset, right? So it's a constantly the need for more, right? And not realizing that you will never get to a point in your life where you're going to have everything worked out. Is this a stupid utopia that you have in your mind that doesn't exist?
Right.
So I always give the example. I think you heard me on one of the talks I do, workshops. I always give the example, like, a teenager, is young and thinking, my parents control my life, and they can't let me go places. As soon as I get at my parents' house, as soon as I go to college, as soon as I can, live in a dorm, and my life will be just great.
Yeah.
So they go there. It's great first few months, first few weeks, 1 year. Then but the professors. This. I know it is good, but the teachers are tough. The program is bad. The school doesn't know how to run the whatever. And then as soon as I graduate, then I think I'll be in a good place. So then you graduate, right? Then you go, yeah, I know I graduated, but nowadays bachelors, what are you gonna do with bachelors? It's hard to get a job. As soon as I get my job and I'm stable, then I'll be okay. People get a job. And they go, well, I have a job, but I want to start a family. I want to have relations. I want to find someone that I can love for the rest of my life, and this and that. And as soon as I find love in my life, then I think I'm in a good place. People get in relationships. People get married, start families. We've been together. We're good. I want to have kids. As soon as I have kids, and I think my life will be set.
Right.
And people have kids. They go, well, my son, he's only 2 years old, trouble twos, as soon as he gets a little bit older, they could do things on their own, and, that'll be good. The kids become teenager. Oh, no, but teenage, too much problems. As soon as my daughter just gets a little older, gets on their own 2 feet, can they have their own job, I'll be in a good place. So then they become, adults, and they go, no. Well, I want to make sure that he's settled in, she's settled in, they get their own family, and this never stops.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you think that
the teenager who started, looking forward to college,
right,
and then from college to getting this degree and so forth, the cycle just keeps on going.
It never stops. And that's, I'm giving you from a life perspective, right? Even from day-to-day perspective,
if
you're thinking, just this next weekend, next weekend when I go hang out and 5 days over, then there's never end to that.
Right.
And so if you're constantly chasing for a time, there was a cartoon in New Yorker. I think there was this 2 monk, right? They were sitting next to each other and they're meditating, right?
Right.
So the younger monk, he's looking at the older monk, and they're both meditating, right? So he's expecting, he's gonna do some meditation, and maybe, I don't know, he's gonna lift off the chair or something. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? They're both meditating, and the younger monk looks at the older monk and goes, and looks at him, right? And the older monk looks back at him and goes, nothing happens after this. Listen to this. Nothing happens after this. This is it.
That's a beautiful example.
Like, this is it.
Because basically, the guy was looking forward to the next thing.
Yeah, he thought that after the meditation, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, no, nothing happens after this. We just meditate. That's what's happening right now. And I think that illustration in New Yorker about 2 monks, I think was fabulous, because I think it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I think we're constantly looking for something. Just look back at your life. 5 years ago, you said that if you had this job, you would have been in a good place.
Yeah.
You have the job now. 5 years ago, you said that if we bought a house and we didn't have to waste money on rent, that would have been a good place. You're doing that now. You said if my son, just shaped his life a little bit and he wouldn't be, you're doing that now. If you said my boss, and you're a whole different job now.
Yeah.
But you have a different complaint now. If I speak to you 5 years ago, you told me it was your manager was making your life hell, and you're not in that job.
You have the wrong mindset about that we just have to go to the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing in order to get happy. Yeah. And they're so stressed out in the process.
And especially talking about stress, they think when I get to the next place, I'm gonna be all stress free.
Right.
Stress free. Right?
Yeah.
As I'm gonna
guys, if you guys like that example, please drop a like on it this video.
I'm gonna find
that was a beautiful example.
I'm gonna find a beach and I'm gonna sit and sip tea. Like you're gonna get bored out of your mind after 2 hours, after 2 weeks. You're not gonna like it.
Right.
Honestly speaking, some of you watching this, you might think, no, I'm very busy and so much going on in my life. I would like to do that. I can promise you, do that for 2 weeks, do that for a few months. You're not gonna like it. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, because you're going to be bored out of your life.
People get used to things.
Yeah.
That's how our brain is hardwired.
Right.
So
I guess the correct mindset to have, when you mentioned mindset is important in here, is that appreciating, the stage that you're at, and taking one step at a time.
And it's building that balance.
Yeah.
It's about building that balance in your life. So it's not about looking forward to a day when you're going to be stress free. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
But it's about making every day a day that you can have managed stress.
Right.
Optimum stress.
Yeah.
And you have balance in other parts of life, which we'll talk about in just a few seconds. How do you, what are the exact things you do about, your stress and make it so that you come to optimum level. Right?
Okay.
But mindset and personality, number one. That's the key. I want to spend some time telling you guys this, but this is the key. And most of the time this is skipped in articles about stress. They go right into exercise,
Yeah, I think every article that I came across, on stress, always talks about,
eating right, exercising.
Exactly.
Those are very important. We'll come to that in a second right now. But I want you to make sure that you have this mindset first.
Yeah. Because I think that's what's most important.
Right.
Once you have that mindset, you're automatically, I think majority of your stress goes away.
Right.
And then the exercising and all of that stuff, obviously that has the benefits, not just stress benefits, many other benefits as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's next? So you have the mindset, you have the your lifestyle fits with your personality. What's next?
So now we get to the tools.
Okay.
Right. So what do we do about the stress? Okay. So here are some tools I'm gonna lay down with you. Some of them might apply to you, some of them might not apply to you. Use the ones that work for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So number one, it's about dealing with when you have overly panic attack like stress. Now, one thing I forgot to mention as we're discussing all this, that if you have a clinical condition, either panic disorder or anxiety disorder, then you need to seek a professional. So how would you know that? So you realize that your anxiety is over the top. Other people get anxious about an interview, but you start to lose breath. you start to feel pain in your chest. Now you're having panic attack. That's not a normal reaction, right?
That becomes a clinical.
Now it becomes a clinical issue, right? Or you're stressed to the level that you're losing sleep every night a lot, and it's happening for a while, right? And it's staying for 2 weeks in a row, right? And you can, even on your off day, you feel that you can relax.
Right.
So if you feel that it's over the top and it's not working out as well, you need to consider that, to see a professional.
Right.
Because it could be a clinical issue. Okay. So I hope I got that out of the way. Let's get to normal. You get overly stressed. Someday you go to work and it's piled up, right? Or you come home and it's in the weekend. You have to take out the kids, to their karate class and to their this class, and then you have to there's some stuff you have to fix in the house. Your boiler got messed up, and you're like, oh my God, I got so much to do. You want to take 2 minutes and just pause.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you feel the overly going on and you're like, you're trying to manage, what you want to do is you want to sit down and you want to take some deep breaths, okay? And I could tell you one small technique called progressive muscle relaxation. I do this in my workshop sometimes. It's very simple. You start with your feet, and so you sit down in a nice flat place so you can lay down, and you start with different part of your muscle, right? So your calf muscle, your knee, your core, your chest, your arms, your tricep, bicep, your eyes. You sort of like, for example, you just hold on to your bicep and tricep. You put pressure on it. Hold it for 5 seconds.
So you flex
and release. And you do that for all part of your body, going from top to bottom. So you start with your toes, you curl it, and you hold, and you relax. So
there's some physical things that you can do in release stress.
Your core, you hold on to your core tight, and your chest, you squeeze, and your neck, you squeeze and you hold, let go. Your eyes, you squint and you hold tight, let go. And you're taking deep breaths as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay? These are something that's very, very useful. So you're going to take 2 seconds to do that, 2 minutes and do that. No matter how overwhelmed you are, the 2 minutes is not going to take away from your big to-do list that you have. Yeah. It's not. 2 minutes, it's not going to kill you. Right? So
should you do any kind of mindset change or write down what you do?
I'll get to that for a second. So I want to just get rid of this immediate stress issue. Some people get that overly anxious, and so you want to do that. And if you can't do it yourself, go to YouTube, type in yoga for anxiety. Very simple. Type in. I'm not gonna recommend any particular YouTuber. I'm not here to endorse anyone, but you go to YouTube, type in yoga for anxiety, and there are these stretches. Literally, these stretches really works. I'm not talking about going there and do some yoga. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about look at yoga as a stretch thing. Yeah. So stretching, really, you're stretching.
Because your physical, everything that you do, your physical body, that has an impact on your emotional state.
Exactly. So because your muscle, it's not about exercising. Exercise is good. You could wait till evening, go to gym. That's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about immediate things you could do, which is you go to YouTube, type in yoga for anxiety, yoga for and you literally just sit there for 2 hours in your office, at home, whatever, and you literally stretch for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You stretch and breathe. You stretch and breathe. All these poses that are there. That you could look up. Okay, and really helps because you're stretching your muscles. The blood is circulating. You're feeling better. You're gonna do better, and you'll be able to go and attack that problem, whatever you have. Right. Mm-hmm. So you want to take that 2 seconds and breathe and engage your muscle. Physically, very, very important. Now, for some people, you don't like that. You want to just get on a treadmill and run. That's good too. You want to do some push-ups, that's fine too. But I find that stretching different parts of your muscle is much better than just picking up some stuff. People do that. Some people are like, I just like to pick up some weights and stuff to do that. That's okay. Or you have to get on a treadmill. That's okay too. But
don't think of it as contradicting. I think,
it's not. It's not. Yeah.
Make it as an addition.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because there's so much pressure up here. You get your rest of your body involved. It gets in a better place, and oxygen is flowing, muscles relaxing. It's much better place.
Okay.
Right. And once you do that, then you also want to be able to organize your life. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think that's very, very crucial. So this is dealing with not just when you have these anxiety type of or stress attacks, but also regularly. If you want to manage your stress, you got to be able to dump your brain. So this is key. So now we get into the tools. Okay. I just dealt with the immediate problem. Now let's get to the tool now. You need to be able to dump your brain. Mm-hmm. I call it brain constipation. When you have too many things in your head, you get a brain constipation.
Right.
When you get a brain constipation, then everything feels overwhelmed. Because your brain actually cannot hold more than 5-6 pieces of information.
Right.
So when you're trying to hold 10 things, you're gonna feel stress. It's like this. Your hand can only hold 5 items, or you can hold down this much weight. You try to take more than what you're capable of, then you start to feel pain, right? In your brain is not able to hold on to like 7-10 pieces of information. You need to be able to dump stuff. What I mean by dumping, and maybe we'll do a whole episode on this. I think it's part of time management. What you want to do firstly is you want to be able to look at your life and go, okay, these are some areas, the things that I'm involved in that I don't need to be involved in, right? So look down and say, okay, what are some things that I'm doing on a daily basis that are just sucking away my energy,
right? That
I don't need to be doing, right? What are some things that are causing me stress on a daily basis, right? What do I really enjoy? So you're gonna ask yourself this question. Number 2, you want to be able to write everything down, right? Now, some people, they get overwhelmed when they write things down. That's why they're scared, because they have so much on their plate. But I can promise you, if you one time sat down and wrote everything that's in your damn head, every single thing, I can promise you is no more than 4 or 5 pages.
Yeah.
You might think you could write volumes. Trust me.
I think it feels like that because there's so much things in your head.
And
again, your brain cannot handle more than 5-6 items.
That's the biggest
thing.
It
feels like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
So guys, exercise for today. Do a brain dump.
Brain dump, yeah. So you need to be put down everything on paper and just unload. Put it all on paper. And once you put it on paper, then you need to organize it in a way that first you need to, when you put all down in paper, you have 8 pages worth of long-term stuff, short-term stuff, big stuff, small stuff. You take it all on one piece of paper, and then you just go, okay, I actually don't need this. Cross out, and then go, okay, these things I could delegate somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. These things not even till next year, so I could put it in a different file. Okay. What I need to do immediately this week. So you start those. See, now see what's happening. Now if you do it on paper is good. If you do it on computer, it's even better.
And I think we can do an entire episode about this.
Yeah, we should.
Because when it comes to that stuff, there's so many different ways to look at that. Because a lot of the times, people make something that's not important into, oh my god, I have to get this done.
Yeah. Right? So I'm not gonna get into it. There's a whole thing about delusion, distraction, but but the point is, you need to be able to manage your trash that you have in your head. You gotta manage your stress. You gotta make your stress optimal. You gotta manage your trash. And part of managing your trash is having a system for your life.
Right.
Having a system for all the stuff that's to-do list. People have just to-do list after to-do list, and that really drives you nuts.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be able to organize it. When is this due? How is it due? And then some people then get too organized. They have these 3 or 4 to-do list binders, and that stresses them out. So we don't want that either. But anyways, you need to be.
I think since you brought that point. Right? I think it's important to point out that so you mentioned physical science, physical things that you can do in order to release your stress. Mindset and personality.
Yeah.
And then you have the brain dump that you talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you got other things in your box that you're gonna tell the audience, right?
Right.
What if that stresses them out?
That's too much to do. The whole point is pick one and just do it.
Yeah.
All of them will work.
I think one thing to take away from this episode is, guys, be at the moment. Don't just keep on thinking about the next thing.
Right.
Even when it comes to the content and the action items that we talk about in the episode, don't just think of the next thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get stressed out from that.
That's true. So even small stuff that immediate relief is so important. And so get that organized. And we'll do a whole episode on that. But very important, when you're getting overwhelmed, write it down.
Okay.
You'll find people just
Just put it down on paper, you're just gonna get a whole load off your head.
Right.
On paper.
And I know you're gonna get overwhelmed, and be like, oh my god, that's a lot. But I'm promising you, if you did a brain dump to do everything that you ever had in your life, your long-term, short-term, small stuff, big stuff, I promise it's not gonna be more than 8 pages.
Yeah.
More than 5 pages, 4 pages even. Right. And then you have to organize that, by making it into which is needed for this week, which is not, and then you separate out those pages.
Right.
And you just keep in front of you what's this today, what's this week.
Yeah.
Right. And then clear out stuff they don't even need.
Yeah, and we'll get more into this, on our next episode.
For sure.
If you guys are here watching with us, we ask you, please do us a favor and drop a like on the video. And also, if you could share the video with your friends and family, really appreciate it. Just hit the share button, put on your timeline, and more people can find out about the show. It really helps us out. If you took any benefit from this episode, we'd really appreciate that. And also, you can turn on the live notification. So every time we go live, you'll be notified. And we have the show every Monday night at 10 p.m. So you can join us next next Monday, and the Monday after that, and hopefully a Monday after that as well. So, yeah, anything else you got? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many other tools, but I really want to make sure that I highlight this point, which is that you want to be able to take these action, do at least one of them. You know, so and then you move on from there. So imagery, even, right? So as you are doing this muscle relaxation, breathing, take that 5 minutes, take that 2 minutes just to close your eyes and picture a nice place for yourself, a good environment, whatever it takes, right? Now there are stuff you could do. I have a whole toolbox of stuff, and I'm not gonna mention all of them now. But there are things you could be doing at home, at work. From taking a break even. So this is very important. Sometimes you gotta cut off technology altogether for like 5 minutes. So you are on the line in a grocery. You don't have to necessarily talk to someone. You don't have to necessarily text. That actually drains you. Like the studies have found, when you are on 1 hour on your social media, you actually feel tired after that. Yeah. Because you actually did so much work. Even all your
social just scrolling through your Facebook newsfeed, that's work.
Even
maybe some of you guys are doing it right now.
Right. at your lunch break, if you're just scrolling through your newsfeed, you actually come out your lunch break more tired.
Yeah.
You're supposed to come out relaxed.
Because your brain is taking in information.
Yeah, your brain is engaged. Yeah. And your brain has to use processing power to think about all the social relationship dynamics, context, drama.
You gotta give your brain some break.
You do. Yeah. And so when you're on the line or waiting for a bus or waiting for a train, you don't have to necessarily be doing something. Sometimes just okay. Just people watch. No, I'm not trying to be creepy, but you could just sit and wait.
Yeah.
That's okay. When you're driving, you don't have to necessarily be on a phone or listen to something. Although I know we encourage that. Listen to whatnot. But sometimes take 2 minutes. Just listen to your own voice. Yeah. Listen to your own emptiness.
Funny thing that you mentioned that. So I listen to like tons of podcasts and like audiobooks and so forth. And I actually realized that sometimes it can be like you can actually listen to too many things.
Yeah.
To like sometimes just give your brain some break.
Right.
Just relax. Right. Just be mindful of your state. Mm-hmm. You don't have to always do something.
Right.
Like every minute doesn't have to be spent being productive and have to get this done, that done. Just relax.
You have to give that a few second break, right? Yeah. At work, maybe certain nature sounds helps you. Certain smell in the room. Buying certain lights that they have the mood lights. Those things can be quite helpful, right? And biggest thing, that having a balance in your life. So are you balancing out your physical body stuff? Are you taking care of your body? Are you taking care of your family? Are you taking care of your finances, your spirituality? All areas of your life, are you putting the right amount of time?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, excessive stress comes from you not having taken care of something which is part of your life, and delayed, and then that part of your life just sparks up.
Right.
And it causes big chaos now. Right.
And that messes up everything else.
Yes, it does.
And causes so much stress.
Because you thought that you could just focus on your work for for a good 1-2 months, and you didn't even didn't catch up on things at home. You didn't catch up on things. You just skipping out. It's like I always give the example. You can't skip out on bathroom and food because you're so busy.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna have to go to bathroom and eat.
It's mandatory.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Just like that, in other areas of life, there are mandatory things that you need to take care of.
Right.
Otherwise, it's gonna catch up to you.
Exactly. So being able to have time to relax, being able to have time to enjoy things, look at it as being productive.
Yeah.
So you told me I went to work, then I went to get some stuff done for the business, and you're like, what, I needed to take a nap.
Yeah.
I just needed to, because you could sit there and grind through it, but that work that you could have done in half an hour, how long would it have taken you?
Yeah, for sure.
2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So then you are not productive.
Mm-hmm.
So stress is.
By the way, apologies about the car alarm.
There's some in neighborhood. There's some car alarm going on. I don't know if you can pick it up from here, but anyways.
Pretty sure they can. It's very loud.
Okay, so it's okay. It's New York City.
You guys are used to it.
People understand. So you need to be able to make sure you maintain that balance.
Yeah.
Right. And then add those things as part of your life. Find those things that there are plenty of tips you can find online, and that's the part that I'm sure you can find articles online and videos about. And I know look at those videos. I would encourage you actually.
Yeah.
So not only us, look at those videos and tips that exist for managing your stress. Whether it be taking breaks in between, whether it be adding those audio visuals, whatever else. Find those things, and you're gonna find that, and apply them. You'll find is very helpful for you.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I think we'll end up the episode here, man. We went on for 50 minutes, actually. So almost 50 minutes. Guys, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. Hassan will try to get back to you guys
for sure.
at a later time. But we're gonna end up the episode here. Please,
and if you're here, do share the show. And like
if you benefited anything from this episode, the best way that you can help us out and give us something back is by sharing the show. That means the world to us.
And we really hope to benefit to more people. And so share, and of course we have a Life Buildup page. Do like us there. And we're so happy that you can join us every Monday night, and we can be part of your life.
Yeah, for sure. Join us next Monday night. Okay, we're gonna have another exciting episode for you. Any last words?
No. Until next week.
Until next week.
All right. Good night,
guys. Good night.